I get asked all of the time, Stuart, how do you strike the ball so consistently? Well, I'm going to show you a little trick using 2 tee pegs to strike the golf ball better than ever, but not only with an iron, with a driver too. Let's get into it. I have been using this drill for an eternity, and I've done a few videos on ball striking, but never one with my cheeky little 2 tee trick. A pink tee, castle, and a short broken wooden tee. It's very, very simple. We're going to pop the pink tee in the ground, and I'm going to tee a ball up. Now the gap between the pink castle tee and the broken wooden tee is 2 balls. So there's 1 ball, there is 2 balls, and then we pop the second ball in, the second tee rather, in the ground. Now, when we pop the second tee in the ground, we want to understand that is where low point is going to be. Now, the pink tee has 4 marks on it. Should I say 5 marks on it? And these 5 marks are giving you a great visual on angle of attack. For those of you that are not aware, angle of attack is the descent angle on the golf club to the golf ball. This is measured on the far left-hand side of my 5 boxes I've got up today. The attack angle, club path, face angle, and face to path. I've got side up there for a bit of dispersion for you today. These 5 points on my pink tee are to give me a visual on where the golf club wants to descend from where I strike the golf ball to where I strike the tee. So the top white mark is going to be where my angle of attack is the most. The bottom white tee, or bottom white dot on the pink tee, is going to be where the angle of attack is at its least. So if you draw a line from the white dot to the white tee, this is dictating the angle of attack. Now, many people believe that if you tee the ball high, you have the chance of creating a nice positive angle of attack. Now, if we think about striking the top white mark and the white tee, we are going to create an angle of attack that is a long way down, which in this case, TrackMan didn't pick up, which gives us our most aggressive angle of attack of 10 degrees. The descent angle on the club head is being measured by the point that you strike the pink tee at, and you make sure you bottom out on the white tee. How do we do that? We do this by a couple of traits. First of all, it's how much you're able to feel the arc narrow on the way down. So if you've got a really good golf grip, there she is, the old golf grip. Check it out, that video will fix your grip. The good grip will allow you to have a narrowing angle on the way down that will create that contact point of the highest white dot on the pink tee that will give you that really aggressive angle of attack. This narrowing of the arc gives you a bit more opportunity to apply force down on the grip that keeps the shaft lean there, that allows that club head to have that angle of attack. So once again, I'm thinking about getting that top point on the tee, that top white dot on the tee, making my mark. I'm not going to keep popping that down there, but you got where I need the white tee to be. That's my focal point, to strike that second tee, narrowing up the arc on the way down, getting the highest point of the tee, trapping the golf ball, which again gives us that aggressive angle of attack, a beautiful 12.8 down on that one. Now you can see that a high tee has nothing to do with angle of attack. Not one single iota. it gives us the opportunity to feel like there's ground underneath the golf ball. Now I've popped my white tee back in the ground. Now I want to strike the very bottom white dot on the pink tee and collect the white tee as well. So the bottom white dot on the pink tee and the white tee afterwards. So now all of a sudden, the head and the golf ball and the white tee are now going to be very lateral in their descent. So it's very much the opposite to the first one, where I was feeling my angle of attack more aggressive and narrowing the arc so that the club could strike down and later getting that white tee. Now all of a sudden, I want to feel like I can expand the arc, get the lowest white dot on the pink tee, and then strike the second tee. Now, what's going to happen here? What part of the golf club is the ball going to hit if I do this? Write in the comments below. But you guessed it, high on the club face. Because all of a sudden, this pink tee is too high for an angle of attack that's going to be much lighter. So therefore, when you think about hitting driver and you have the ball teed up awfully high, the opportunity of feeling like you can expand the arc and not roofing the golf ball on the golf club might be compromised. So in this case, what I'm going to do is going to lift the base of my swing up, expand the arc, collect the ball and miss the white tee. Now, the point is with this white tee and this pink tee and the white dots is that it's giving you a visual of 2 points of the club head from strike and post strike. The post strike gives you the sense of where the circle is. Is it flat and long, or is it rising up? In this case, it wants to be flat and long. So the club head feels like it's approaching the ball from the side. To do that, I don't need to compromise my body. I don't need to hold my top half back and hit more up. All I simply need to do is to make the arc wider. So I make the arc wider. I'm not going to hit the second tee because I don't want to hit it high. In fact, yes, I will. Let's do that. Let's do that. So I'm going to go nice and wide, hit it high off the face, and you can see, trick shot show bravado. You can see I've gone clean underneath that golf ball because the arc was wide. The club slid underneath it and left the ball right where it is. I wasn't expecting that, but just goes to show you what this is going to do for you. So now the tees have gone, and I've shown you that I can get the back tee and the later tee with that wide feeling. I'm going to do exactly the same now the ball is on the floor. I'm going to make my downswing. I'm going to feel my arc widen, and I'm going to brush the ball off the mat. And the angle of attack drops right the way down, 3 degrees. Now, the more I make that feeling occur, the more opportunity I have of making my angle of attack close to 0. As I make the angle of attack closer to the 0, the more the face will want to look left. The more the face wants to look left, the more you need to understand how we use the leverage, the wrist angles through strike, which is this video up here, power at impact, need to be adapted to make the face straight. So we allow the radius and the arc to widen, hit the lowest white dot on the pink tee, feel like the wrist shape stays the same, which keeps the blade nice and neutral. So now, widen the arc to get the bottom white dot. Keep the wrist angle nice and neutral, which keeps the loft up, the angle of attack light. Ball goes super high, light angle of attack, and we're back to balanced up. So it's how you then start to manage hitting the white dots on the pink tee that give you the opportunity to modulate your angle of attack. So the higher you hit on the pink tee and the white tee afterwards, the more your angle of attack will be down. The more you arrive with the club head lower to the floor, the more you will have a lighter angle of attack, and the higher the golf ball will go. Dealing with your leverage in your downswing and getting the picture in your mind of those 2 points, of the top of the pink tee and the white tee that's going to give you that angle of attack, is going to give you your ball striking capabilities. But not only that, by making sure that you get the white tee all of the time, it guarantees that you don't get the golf ball too high off the face. Because ultimately, when golfers go out and play, they think of a divot as their measurement of making an angle of attack. When you think about the low point being your white tee, if your white tee is level with the golf ball or even in front of the golf ball, and your descent angle is the highest point of the white dot on the pink tee, can you see I could make a really steep angle of attack here, but I could still hit the ball fat and I could still hit the ground first and create a strong angle of attack. I could equally come into the golf ball striking through the bottom white dot, hit the ground with the white tee, hit the ball fat, and have a light angle of attack. So divot has no representation of how much you're hitting down on the golf ball. It has zero representation. The divot is really a representation of how low the circle of your golf swing is to the floor. So I can hit a long way down on that golf ball without taking any divot at all. I thinned that one and I hit down at 7 degrees. This one, I'm going to have a light angle of attack and I'm going to hit the ground. So I've whacked the ground, angle of attack was 0.6 up. So for all of you golfers out there that believe that hitting down is a measurement of your divot depth, garbage. Doesn't work that way. Use this 2T drill to give you the visual on those. If you're tired of paying too much for your premium leather golf gloves, head over to gxgolfgloves.com. These are gloves trusted by tour players and elite amateurs alike. Use my code GOODCOACHING to receive 10% off your next order. Go try them out. You won't be disappointed. 2 points and the descent points into the ground. But not only that, how much you want to lift the circle up. And making sure that when it's descending, it's at the right height relative to the golf ball on the ground. Hence displayed and demonstrated by my little trick shot there. Hopefully that's given you some insight into angle of attack, but not only that, really ball striking. And a really clear perception of how divots and angle of attack have no representation of each other at all. Thank you so much for joining me. If I've offered something up to your game, do consider subscribing while you're here. And that, my friends, you guessed it, it's good coaching.